It's the Tommy Sandhu podcast. Welcome, everybody. And you're about to hear me talk to Sohail Sahi. Sohail is a football commentator now, but he used to work on the radio with me. We did the breakfast show together. He was the sports broadcaster, did the sports news on the show. And to say that I hit it off with him would be an understatement. I find him so funny. I find he's like truly funny. Not even, one of those people that doesn't know they're being funny when they're funny. And he's lived just such a life where he's traveled and he's got all these experiences and random stories. And I just love being around him. He's one of those very few people that just the thought of his name brings a smile to my face. So enjoy the chat with sports broadcaster and very lovely man, Sohail Sahi. I'm grinning already. I'm just grinning from the very start because I love you and I miss you. And look at your face. People get us mixed up, And look, I think you look brown as well. Are you tanned?
I've just come out of a sauna about half an hour ago. And you know what's really funny? It's so interesting you picked up on that, because everyone says to me, why do you have so many saunas? I said, because I actually glow. When I come out of the sauna, I have a cold shower, I actually look like I've got a tan. And they said, why do you want to get any browner? I said, there's nothing like being a brown munda.
You're absolutely right. But you shouldn't tan from a sauna. So, like you do.
I do.
It's like what? Like you've cooked a bit in there. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny you said that again. I use the word cooked in there because once you're in a sauna, if you sit for like 15, 20 minutes, once you get out and have a cold shower and you go back in, it's done. It's done. You might as well just stay in the sauna for a good 20, 25 minutes. Because once you come in and out, you're gone. It's all over.
But I thought on saunas, I thought that was what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go a bit in and out. Because you open the pores, you get it out, and you close the pores. But I don't know. What do you know?
No, you're right. Exactly, you're supposed to do that. But my theory is, once you walk out the sauna, you're mentally gone. It's difficult to go back in, sit down again for 5-10 minutes. But you're supposed to go in and out, shake it all about, turn around.
You're treating the sauna like it's like a sports analogy. Like, you've mentally lost it, Sandhu. You know what I mean? My game's gone. Sauna game's gone. What kind of sauna do you do Nanga Patanga in the sauna, or is it like men only sauna, or is it mixed?
It's mixed, so the old black trunks are out.
What? Why is that the color of trunks you?
It's the color of choice. But always black.
Okay, no, I don't even know where to start this. Well, I think we've already started this conversation, but I don't know where to start with you because there's so much with you that we've been through and we've done over the years. And just because you said that as well, the black trunks, you just reminded me now, you love the color black. You always wear black shoes, black tracksuit bottoms, black t-shirt. Yeah. And it's not in a way that, like some people go, oh yeah, I wear black because it's slimming and it's like you wear it across the board of your clothing. That's the look. When did you decide, Sohail, that black was the color to go with?
I just thought, I think it was in my late 20s, early 30s. I thought life's just simple. Just keep it simple, eat dal, have ice cream as your dessert, and wear black.
Because you're ahead of your time there. Because they said that who's it? Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook bunda. Yeah. He's only got one style of t-shirt. He's got lots of them. Yeah. But grey t-shirt, blue jeans, whatever it is, or white t-shirt, blue jeans. But the same style. He goes, why complicate? He drives a Prius because he goes, I don't need fancy cars. Yeah. That's you, isn't it? Are you a CEO of a major social media network by any chance?
No, I am CEO of Sohail Sahi Limited.
And how is Sohail Sahi Limited? Definitely not limited. There's no limits on you. How are you? Are you well? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm very good. I think life's treating me very well at the moment. I'm happy, I'm healthy, and I'm working. So I think if I've got those three things, if I can keep ticking along, being happy, being healthy, and I'm working, I think you can't really complain, can you?
No, you can't.
And the thing is, even if you do complain, I always say no one's listening.
No, well, maybe temporarily. Like someone like your mum or your sister might listen for a bit. Yeah. But even so, but you're not a complainer. Okay, let's just touch on this now, because some people go around and you'll speak to them. How are you? Oh, Oh, you know, and you instantly feel that heaviness of that person. You're like, okay. And I know you because you're like me in some respect. If someone's like that, you're not going to go, yeah, life's crap, isn't it? You're going to go, come on, you're going to find the good because you're a buoyant person. You'll always kind of keep bobbing around. But you know, it's nice to know that you're happy now with what you're doing. Do you feel free? You feel happy with all elements of life? Were you all right with lockdown? Were you all right? Because you're a social bunny, you know. But I think you're an adapter. So I think you'll roll with whatever.
Yeah, I think I was quite fortunate in lockdown in a way that when the initial lockdown happened in March 2020, it was those 2 months, April and May, that I think our country in the UK, we were all locked down. But June came along and then football restarted and I was back out working. And then my manager said to me, do you want to be restricted to London, which I live in Greater London? Do you want to be? I said, no, I want to go wherever you send me. And so I was quite fortunate in that way. I was out working. All right, there was nobody in the stadiums to watch the football, but you would still get out on the roads. You'd be in the service stations. You'd see other journalists out and about. You know, you just felt free. And then also, which is really my heaven, is my gym, my local gymnasium opened up again in June. And I was back there. You know, I was the first one through the door.
Yeah, I can believe it. You've always been an early riser as well. You like the mornings, don't you? You like, you're quite spiritual. You have your little time in the morning before you kick off. So that's a good time, as we know. How's the training going? Because also you're looking trim. You're looking good. I mean,
you're good. I do lots of yoga, you know, Tommy. I do lots of yoga.
Sorry, I love that. I love that you're doing yoga. I'm not laughing. You know me. I'm not laughing at you. It's more like I do lots of yoga. So because we went Bikram yoga, as you know.
And I tell everyone about the Bikram.
The sweat box. But you know, you enjoyed it. You enjoyed it, but you weren't a massive fan at the time because we were a bit worried about it, weren't we? We worried it's a bit because it's a bit cult-like, isn't it? The way they talk about things, and it's a bit club-like. But we were like, and we were brand new to yoga. We went straight into these 90-minute rubber. It was like a rubber room because everyone just sweat to this rubber floor. But some of the moves those people can do, like that one where you hold your leg, you stood up on one leg, standing crow or something like that, and you hold the other leg behind you.
Yeah, and you got your arm. Yeah, yes, I could do all those things now, you know, Tommy.
Really?
Yeah,
really.
I don't do this. I don't do Bikram no more, but I do a yoga called Ashtanga. Asha what? Yeah, exactly. Sounds like a remix, but it sounds like a remix, doesn't it? Mumsy Stranger sounds like a remix from Mumsy Stranger. Ashtanga yoga. But yeah, I do lots of different yoga, and I walk a lot.
Just everywhere you can, where you can.
Everywhere I can, I try and walk, and I do lots of yoga, and I find that combination. I do a bit of weightlifting, but I've never been a big guy. But I just find that combination it's a beautiful thing.
Right. So just walking. It's funny you said it because in the last couple of years, I stopped drinking. Sahi, I just stopped drinking at the beginning of 2020, and I didn't do much else. And actually, I stopped doing weights because I do the weights and I get really hungry afterwards. And then you eat the wrong food because obviously I'm not going to eat 3 chicken breasts and a load of broccoli, which you're supposed to do, or whatever. Or I'm gonna go. Oh, I'll have the 10-piece KFC bucket to myself, please. And that was no good. And then you end up just getting bulking. So now, similar to yourself, I play basketball once a week. Little bit of running.
What position? How many? 5 aside, 5 each?
Yeah, but it's a dad's group, so it's a bit of a free for all, you know. But I
can imagine you as the center because you're the big guy.
I'm the big guy in our world because obviously your average Desi Banda, because all Desi dads, they're all about 5'10", 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". So at 6'2", you take center spot. But I used to play back in the day, so I think I've still got a little bit of game, so I can do a little bit of forward work as well, but center and stuff as well. But you're right. I take the guy approach, but that's great for the cardio. And nothing beats team sport. If you want to lose weight, I would think going to the gym is quite solitary. So what you playing? You don't play any 5-a-side with all the sport coverage that you do. You're a BBC commentator. For anybody who doesn't know, so you're a sports broadcaster. We're on the radio together for years. I think most people listen to this will know that. But what do you play? What team sport do you play now?
I do play. I do play occasionally. I would say I wouldn't say every week because that's wrong for me to say. I'd say once a month. I play five-a-side football, but it's real.
What is it? Everything you phrase has just got, for me, it's just got, I wouldn't say once a week, so, Tom, because that's a lie. I'll say once a month.
Exactly. And you can't lie to your listenership. Once you go down that road, it's all over.
You never lied. You're always honest. But even if it means telling the hard truth, you're all right with that. Okay. Yeah. Hard truth, Sahi, sports broadcaster. Pakistan were a better side a couple of days ago.
I'll tell you what was amazing. That was their first victory over India in a World Cup scenario. So World Cup is not just T20, as we know, it's a 50-over game as well, one day. For 29 years, they've been at it. They've been trying to beat India in a World Cup environment. They've never managed to do so. They've lost to India before in finals in the T20, in the actual final. But to beat India in the opening game for both countries, 10 wickets, I think more than anything, what it will do for Pakistan, it will actually lift their spirits and they'll feel like they can actually win this tournament. Because no matter what's happened in the one-day games, in the T20 games that they've played in before in the tournaments, they've got to play India, they know, to win the trophy. And it's been a psychological barrier. They managed to overcome that psychological barrier emphatically on Sunday by 10 wickets. So what that will do, that will boost them. Yeah. I still think personally, for me, it's between three countries: England, India, New Zealand.
Oh, really?
But I think Pakistan have a real chance because this will just lift them. And once they're lifted, those players, I think that's been Pakistan's history in cricket. Once they're lifted, they can almost do anything they want, and this will give them untold confidence.
But the Indians have got New Zealand next. If they lose that, then
they'll be in trouble.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble. Yeah.
New Zealand people don't. I mean, I know the hardcore cricket fan knows this, but just the general public, when it comes to these big tournaments, T20, especially T20 now, I think it's overtaken even the 50-over game as the showpiece outside of Test cricket. It's the one to win. If you're a cricket man, it's the one to win. But I think people, when you talk about New Zealand, people say, they don't really know. But New Zealand, in the last 4 or 5 years, have become a fantastic country in all forms of cricket. They're the number one Test nation now as well. They beat India in that one-off championship down here in Southampton in England as well. So they're a very good outfit.
You ever been there? You ever been New Zealand, Australia?
No, I've been to Australia. Never been to New Zealand though.
I can imagine you'd like it. Kind of it's laid back. Weather's good. It's very green. People are cool there as well, man.
It's a bit like England and Scotland. If I've heard, like, England is like, I've been to Australia, so but Scotland is like New Zealand, mountains and chilled out people. A bit of nice lamb. You get nice lamb there in New Zealand. It's like Scotland.
And actually, there's quite a lot of Pakistani restaurants up in Scotland as well. You can get nice lamb up there as well. Nice sort of Kadai lamb. You eat meat still, or because you go through phases?
I go through phases. I have cut back a little bit, but you can't beat a good old lamb chop. Chips and lamb chop.
Chips and chops. Is that what you do? So what's your diet? What's your diet nowadays? What are you eating?
Diet is strict. Diet is strict, Tomster. Yeah, diet is strict. I only have a bit of fun on Sundays, and even that is homemade chips. It's not like I ain't going down the chippy. I'm going down my mum's.
Cool. And she cuts the aloo fresh and all that.
She cuts it fresh. Piper potatoes, they're called, I think. Red Piper or something.
Maris Piper.
Maris Piper, that's it. Maris Piper. Maris Piper. And I have two forms. One week she cuts them straight, and one week she cuts them in a groove. And I have fish with it, and I have 2 fried eggs. That's my naughty day.
I got cramp. Look at the tears. Look at the tears.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So hold on. You have. So does she do like fried fish and chips, or you do like a battered chip, or does she do like?
No. Salmon or mackerel.
Salmon, like it's a healthy bit of fish.
Yeah.
Naughty bit of fried chips, and a couple of ande on the side.
Yeah, 2 fried eggs.
I heard you say that. What? But fried egg. So it's kind of like it's kind of naughty good. What are you? Or what is this? you're an enigma, Sahi. You're an enigma. People
Yeah.
can't work you out. But that's always been your thing, isn't it? You like being a bit of an enigma. You like being mysterious man of mystery and all that.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm always trying to, you know what I'm always trying to do, and I realize that about myself as I approach my half century. I'm always trying to tweak my life. I'm always trying to get the best out of me.
Yeah.
I realized life, for me anyway, Tommy, I realized life is, for me, it's not about pats on my back from other people. It's not about trying to achieve anything. It's trying to get the best out of my physical being. This is my physical being, me. Not anything else really, but I'm always trying to get the best out of my physical being. And I've really tried to do that in the last 5-6 years. Be the master of my own mind.
Right. But see, I was just going to touch on that because you said the physical being. So it's almost like you're making out about the yoga and the sport and the things you play. But by your physical being, you mean the entity that is Sahi. So that means the mind getting that right. But again, so let's go back. Let me take it, because I've had so many wonderful conversations with you, and I mean that with all my heart. I love you completely, because we had a lot of fun on the radio together for many years. And I worked with different people on the radio because it went through different phases. I had Haroon as my kind of other voice for a bit. You get the other boys for a bit, and you get, but people still come up to me, bruv, to this day, and they'll go, you and Sahi, because we would have kind of, I think you've lived a very colorful life. So I think that's all going on. You've traveled around the world, and you love culture, and you love people, and you love people from different cultures. You're not the kind of person who wants the same kind of people around you. You want to go, give it to me. Give me life. Like, my life starts here, it ends there. I want to decorate it with as much as I can. And I can see that in you. And I love that, because I think I'm similar on a path, but in a different way. But when I met you, honestly, it was like, where's this guy been all my life? There's been so many chats we've had. But that what you've just touched on there, getting the most out of it, your physical being, as you put it, is really what it's about. What else is life about other than just kind of maximizing what you're going to achieve, how much you're going to touch other people's hearts, or how much you're going to get for yourself? I think that's it. So has your meaning of life changed, Sahi?
Without a doubt.
What are you thinking now? What are you feeling about life now?
My one word, if I could describe, not me, because I don't need to describe me. Me is my actions. One word I use all the time: be kind. Honestly, Tommy. Honestly,
that's two words.
There's two words. But what I meant to say in one word was kindness. Kindness.
Right.
Yeah, but show kindness. Show kindness.
Yeah.
2 words.
Well,
show kindness.
Let me.
And you know why, Tommy? Hold on. You know why? Kindness is free. It's free.
Yes, it is.
And people use the word love, but I don't use the word. I say kindness, because you can be kind to anybody. You can be kind to someone who's negative to you. You can be kind to someone who's positive to you. In any scenario, you can be kind.
But okay, because obviously that's a hashtag that's going around right now. Everyone's going about be kind, be kind, be kind, right?
Okay. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, it's a thing. Like, and it's all across Twitter, and I know you don't do all the social media stuff as well. So I don't expect you to know that. But that's ever since kind of Me Too, Black Lives Matter, and mindfulness of the world, people want to be kind. But I think it's more than be kind, because I can be kind, but I might not me, feel kindness in my heart. I can just be kind. So, but I say it's be kind and be accepting. So if you accept, so I don't know. Let's say we support different football teams. I could go, all right, mate. Yeah, you're a Man U fan, cool. But inside, I'm not feeling very kind. But I go, no, I accept that. I want to. And I know you're like this, so I'm saying it. I don't just want to be kind. I want you in my life. I want to accept you for the things that aren't me. Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't do that, bro. I think a lot of people feel that everybody else is kind of a challenge to them. Oh, what? He's West Ham, I'm Tottenham. And even at the India-Pakistan game, I could tell, people, because I'm there with the Bharat Army and all that.
Were you there?
I was there, man. I was there, yeah, right? And the Pakistani fans, they wanted to give it, but as soon as, all banter anyway, but obviously we were losing. And some of the Indian fans, they don't take it very well. And I'm like, you don't need to be that way. You got to accept. You got to accept the ban. It would go both ways. You got to accept the loss. You said, 29 years. They've not won. accept
I'll
it.
tell you someone who I admire him anyway, but he went from my admiration for him just grew, just times 10 was Virat Kohli.
Right. Why is that?
The way he was so gracious in defeat. And he is a hard-edged cricketer. He likes to win. He'll fight with you tooth and nail. But I admired the way he accepted defeat.
What was it that he said that
it was just the way he acted, the way he came, he led his team out, the way he actually smiled when he congratulated the two batsmen and Babar Azam, who probably is amongst the leading batsmen in the world at present in all forms of cricket. He's a challenge to Kohli in a way, but I think over the last few years, Kohli's been the outstanding batsman in world cricket. But Babar Azam of Pakistan is kind of challenging that spot. But I really admire Virat Kohli, the way he approached those boys and the way he led his team out, and also smiled. He smiled in defeat. I really admire him. I used to admire him before. I admire him because he reminds me of Viv Richards, who was a cricketer for the West Indies in the 80s and the 90s. And I grew up with Viv Richards because Viv Richards was a very aggressive man and he used to play on the front foot, aggressive on the field.
Oh, yeah.
And I like that. I like aggression on the sports field. And he was always on the front foot against the Australians and the English, who in those days, if you were aggressive against them on the cricket field, it was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because they almost had the monopoly on aggression. And Virat Kohli is the same in this day and age. It's not good manners to see a subcontinent player be aggressive. But for Australians or English or West Indians, it's okay. But for a subcontinent cricketer, it's not. But Virat Kohli, he goes against the kind of wave, and I admire him for that. I like that.
Let me then broaden that out to a life lesson, right? Because I know you've got a lot of life lessons in you, which is aggression, right? Like I say, that desire to win. What's your take on, if you want it, you got to go and get it, or no, actually just be, like you say, be kind, accept the game, go with the flow, be your yoga zen-like state and feel, and let the win come to you rather than chase it. And even with our work, we're freelancers. You left the BBC, you went off to kind of rebuild yourself in commentating as well, because you thought, I can be a sports journalist, but you wanted to be a commentator, which is amazing, because I know how much what you do now means to you. This is to watch football matches, talk about players. So you went on about that for years. That's all you wanted to do. And it was your nice way of saying, Tommy, I don't want to look at your face every day on the radio. I want to be out there looking at famous footballers. My point is, do you chase life? Is that how life works? Or do you be at one and let it come?
I think that's where when you find that balance, I think that's when you really mastered what you need, because I think you can go chasing and it can really play havoc with your mental state, and it can provide undue stress, where sometimes when you go chasing, sometimes those decisions are not even in your hands, especially in our world of broadcasting. They're in someone else's hand. Someone can lift you and you can almost become a Terry Wogan overnight. In our world, you easily can. But and God rest his soul, by the way. But or you can be crushed before you even started if someone doesn't really like you, or they say, "Oh, I don't like his voice," or "I don't like this." So you have to have ambition, and I think that's your own personal ambition, where you have that inner drive. But along the journey, you also have to find a nice mental state, a nice equilibrium, where when you're high, when you're doing well, keep it down. And when you're low, it's not as bad as it is. Keep that nice, smooth line, because that really, I think that's when you crack it for your own personal self. Because if you go really high, you will come back down in anything. You will come back down. And that's when you come crashing back down, or you come back down to the middle line. Some people find it very hard to deal with. I call that personal ambition. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I'm still very driven as an individual like that. I might be zen, I might want to go out for my walks and do yoga, but I'm still inside me quite a driven individual to get the best out of my ability.
And you work hard for it, because so a lot of your kind of work then, I suppose, will be again, not only watching matches. Well, what are you doing now? What's your day to day? Because I think you got to do a lot of research. Is what I was going to say. You got to read around subjects. So you're actively doing something to up your game, but also letting it be as well. So what's filling your time right now on a daily?
Yeah, well, essentially, I'm a football broadcaster for the BBC Radio, and essentially what someone does in that role is endless in a way. There's so much to read, there's so much to listen to, and there's so much to watch. But again, a bit like my, wearing black and eating ice cream, trying to keep my life simple. I only pick a certain amount of outlets that I'll read, and I'll only listen to a certain amount of podcasts, and I'll only watch a certain amount of games. Because I think at the end of the day, especially in football broadcasting, I think more than any other sport, and cricket as well gets like that. And there's other sports, golf and tennis possibly, but I think football's maybe out on its own limb in a way that there's so much information. You can drown yourself in that information. And sometimes it's just repeated, but different voices, different names, different journalists. So you've got to be quite clever in the ones that you choose. And I think it's important to sometimes listen. No, I don't call anyone my opposition. The BBC say commercials job. I don't really see life as that. But it's good to listen to someone else outside of the BBC. So yeah. I choose a certain amount of podcasts, certain amount of publications, and that's what I do. And I'll just read.
Perspective, right? So you want to broaden your perspective with it. Look, just hearing your voice takes me back to the many meals we've had together, the kind of times we've kind of hung out. But I know you've got a strong connection to Italy as well, because obviously we spoke a lot about your Italian influences in your life. But this is you're the only son, aren't you? It's you and how many sisters?
7.
7 sisters.
Yeah.
And Sahi. So I think actually that's probably why your EI, as they call it, is so high. Your emotionally intelligence, emotional intelligence. It's because you're close to your sisters as well. You have like me, I've got 2 sisters.
Yeah.
So our growing up, our chats are with girls. So you and I kind of, in the nicest possible way, would you say this about yourself? You're a girly guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, very much.
A soft lad. You're a soft. I know you're a soft lad.
Yeah.
And isn't it funny when you think about? Okay, I've got so many things to say to you, and I'll keep jumping around because this is what you do to me. But it's a good thing about podcasts, it's a conversation. I'm not interviewing you. Just know this now.
I know.
This is a blibber and a gibber.
Yeah.
So, but coming back because you said, I've remembered it now because you said it before. You're a BBC sports broadcaster. We were at the BBC together for all those years, and you were wanting to do commentary then, and you were trying to talk to people and trying to get a slot and trying to speak to the 5 Live guys and the other stations. And if you don't mind me saying, it wasn't happening at the time.
No.
Then you left. You went talk sport.
Talk sport,
for a bit, and now it's kind of come back, and now you're a BBC football broadcaster. The ultimate dream for you. What you do is you talk about Premier League games. I mean, it's the dream for so many people, and it was a dream for you. So, isn't that funny how it works out, though? I'm saying you can't have planned this career. You kind of mapped this route to your dream now.
No, you can't really plan it, but I do think you can work towards it. I think maybe it's important in whatever field you get into is to maybe try and have your end goal. Where do you see yourself? But what you can't do is, if you don't get there, don't feel like you haven't succeeded. Because I think that's where a lot of people fail in any walk of life. They have this end goal, and if they haven't reached there, they feel like they're a failure. I don't believe in that. I believe the journey is the beautiful path. That's where you're going. And I think I think as long as you show enthusiasm, you are a winner. If you keep failing and you keep trying to do it, you really win. I'll be honest with you, Tommy, this is my 22nd football season. I have more enthusiasm now than I started in November 2000.
Yeah, I can believe it.
And that's when I believe I've won. That's when I believe. I don't even, honestly, Tommy, I don't even worry about my work no more. I work hard, but I don't worry. If I get a game or they send me to I do all the football leagues. So if they send me to a League 2 game and then someone else is at a Premier League, where I used to think, I'm as good as that person. Now I don't worry no more. I just think, do your work hard, do the best you can be, and be happy with your journey, and whatever's supposed to be will be. And some people think that's very airy fairy, and I do get that, and we've all got to earn a living, and I earn a living, but I think there comes a point where you can be so worked up, it can cause mental issues where you're constantly thinking, I need to get to that point, I need to get to that point, I need to get to that point, and getting to that point is just. It just drives your whole life where mentally you can become a bit unstable, and I don't think it's actually great for you.
No, I agree. And isn't it weird? And I don't get it, and I don't understand maybe life or spirituality or whatever it is so why it is like this. Isn't it weird when you kind of let go on the chasing, it just comes. It's the same with love.
Yeah.
I'm sure you agree.
I agree with you. Yeah. I totally agree with you. When you stop looking, it appears, doesn't it? So and love like kindness is free. Occasionally you have to buy a box of chocolates, I've discovered, but otherwise, love like kindness is free.
Yeah, you're right. How is love? Sorry, I'm going to call it up right now in public. So I don't, and I haven't caught up with you recently, so I don't know.
No, you haven't.
There is a significant other right now.
Actually, right now, no, there isn't. Okay. Lockdown didn't prove good for me in the love world. Bless her, I thought I met somebody that I thought, wow, but she lived unfortunately on the other side of the world, and she had a bit of a bad turn during the COVID time. And I think COVID has affected people in many ways, but I think there might be two strands to it, where some people just cracked on and said, okay, that's an illness, that's COVID. I'll wear my mask, I'll get out to work, I'll get my vaccinations, and I'll plow on. I think some people, and this is me just generalizing into two camps, I think some people, it's affected them a lot mentally. Yeah. They've had family passed away. She's been in that bracket. She had one or two issues with family. She had old grandparents. And then she's also had one or two mental blocks with her COVID, where she struggled in getting back out to face the world and everything. So it kind of dropped off. But it taught me something. I think I was overreaching on that part as well. She lived too far away, Tommy, she lived in Panama.
What?
Yeah. And I went to Panama 3 times.
How do you meet someone in Panama?
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of my life, isn't it? That's a whole nother podcast.
I'm telling everybody right now, I don't care.
Panama, let me tell you, Tommy, Panama's a beautiful place.
I've heard. Have you got the hat?
Yeah.
Did you get the hat? Do you have a cigar?
Oh, I've got the hat. I've got a really nice black hat. I didn't do the cigar. Not good for the chest.
No, of course not. Yeah, you're right. But you did
not good for the asthma, But you got the nice Panama famous hat. Really nice. Yeah, got one in my cupboard. Really nice. A beautiful place. I tell you how I liken it to, which I think. Again, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I don't want our listeners to think I'm some kind of high flyer. But I've been to Monte Carlo once or twice.
Hey, you can't drop Monte Carlo and people not think you're a high flyer.
I only went there on a day trip because it's on the border with Italy. It's on the border with Italy as well. So I went there as a day trip in a Fiat Uno, by the way, to Monte Carlo, and it's got a little bit of a feeling of that, but in Central America, in between South America, the tip of the north of South America and below, America. It's got a feel of that. When I went there first time, I thought, wow, this is incredible. And you wouldn't think a place like that. And then Costa Rica's quite close by. It's an amazing part of the world. The way I look at it, I was quite blessed to go to that part of the world as well. Yeah. I thought, wow, what an experience.
You've actually, there's a South American kind of connection to you as well. You like that sort of part of the world as well. You like, I know you like Brazil and kind of Argentina. In fact, you're quite global in that. Like I was saying about the Italy thing, is your sisters, one or two of your sisters live in Italy?
One of your sisters
live in, but you go over there quite a lot. You're kind of close to family over there. You love your your nieces and nephews as well. What you got over there? Yeah. And you are the ultimate. I can only imagine you being the ultimate uncle, because this is it's fun Sohail Sahi, Uncle Sohail coming over. But on that, like, kind of finding love note, I often think about a lot of Asian women in broadcasting, and we know a lot as well. We've met a lot of them don't get married or find it hard to settle down, even though they want to, because of the job and how it is, or how Asian men look at female broadcast. Maybe they feel like, oh, she's out in the public, and it's out of our control. We want to be the main man, and she goes out and about and gets the attention or whatever. But so I can understand why some Asian women, or not understand, I mean, it's not necessarily the right thing, but I can understand why some Asian women get to a stage in their career where they're not settled down, and all of a sudden it becomes more and more difficult to. What's your excuse? Do you think you've maybe suffered the same? Are you so in touch with your feminine side, Sahi, that you're basically an Asian woman?
Yeah. I do like that. I do like. Yeah, maybe, but I'll be very honest. I always try to be honest when I talk about myself. I think I was a little bit immature when I was growing up. And even though I'm reaching my half century next year, I'm turning 50, by the way, next year.
Well, we got to do something. Okay, we'll talk about
that. Yeah, we will. I'll be honest with you. I think I've only been mature for the last 5-6 years. You know, where I've discovered myself. I'm not responsibility. Where I actually think, okay, you know, this is what you are. But I think, and I'm not blaming anyone, but I was surrounded by women growing up, and I think I was mothered too much.
Yeah.
And again, not blaming anyone. I actually enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed it myself, to be honest. Let's be frank, I did. And so I think I was quite immature for a long period of my life, and I wasn't ready myself. And to be honest, you know what now, Tommy? It's nothing that really, I don't think it's ever concerned me. It's life's a journey. And when the right one comes, I've got the frame ready. I'm going to put a nice picture. I bought a nice frame. I'm going to put a nice picture of it and put it on my office desk.
Yeah. I can't, you know, you just can't make this up. So you bought the frame for when you
I bought a nice frame, yeah. Yeah, I bought a nice little frame.
What kind of frame did you go for? Is it wooden? Is it sparkly? Is it shiny?
It's wooden. It's very small, actually. It's wooden. It's a bit like an iPhone size. It's very small. It's wooden, yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready now. I'm ready.
You're ready now. You've been ready for a while, but...
I know, but I'm really ready.
Hey, Sahi, if you get married, I tell you, I'll host the wedding. I'll pay for the hall. I'll be the DJ. I'll do the food. I tell you, you tell me you're doing it. I'll get there. I know caterers. We can take care of everything. All right, because I also know you're not going to have a 600 people wedding. You're going to
I'm not.
Cocker. This is what you always call me, Cocker. I don't know. I don't know, right? Cocker. 10 people. 10 people.
Yeah.
I can imagine. How many would you have at your wedding?
Yeah. No, but I'm not having a 600 people wedding. No way.
No. It's craziness. So do you do like dating apps and things like that now?
No, I don't. You know what? A lot of people have said to me, I don't do the apps and I don't do the websites. I'm still old fashioned. I'm still like, if I see somebody, I take a lot longer though now. Like before, when I was younger, if I see somebody in the gym or in a coffee shop, I would just go up to them naturally and say, "Hi, how are you? You know, my name's Sohail. You know, nice to meet you." I wouldn't always say Sohail. You know, you'd have to change it depending on where you are. You know.
Well, what do you mean? Why?
Sometimes I'd make up another name. You know, just to drop it. You know.
To be more accessible, to kind of neutralize your.
Yeah, because I mean, my name's Sohail. I don't think it's very difficult to say, but
okay.
For some people, it's difficult to say. So you just make up another name just to make the conversation flow. But now, I'm a lot more.
Give me the other name. I want to just know what is the other name.
I've used loads of different names. You know.
What's a favorite of yours?
Danny Casca. Yeah.
Surname as well.
Yeah. And the surname is the killer. Casca is an old Roman name from the 1800s.
How did you come across it?
I came across it from one of my trips to Rome one day, and I picked up a book at the Rome train station, and it had just Casca, and it was the Roman emperor from the 1800s. Casca spelled C for cake, A for apple, S for sugar, C for cake, A for apple. And I just think it's such a beautiful name, Casca.
It's lovely because it's exactly what it sounds like, cascading. You know, it's like a waterfall. So almost, I imagine Danny Casca to come into the room like that.
Yeah.
There's a presence to Danny Casca.
Yeah,
you feel
there
like
is.
A different person when you are Danny Casca. Do you feel different? Do you feel like, hey.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not him no more. That's gone now. I buried him.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I buried him.
So you were saying about the apps and stuff. You're a bit old school. You want to go up to people.
Yeah, I'm a bit old school. I still think I personally still would like to meet someone that I've seen, and I think, oh, okay, I'm gonna go up to her and say, hi, how you doing? You know, nice to meet you. My name's Sohail. Do you fancy, going out for a cup of tea and something? So, yeah. I've got one in the pipeline. Let's see what happens.
Oh, okay. Early doors on something, right? Okay.
Very early. Let's see what happens.
Then everybody listening to this right now, please just kind of channel good energy. Come on, Sahi.
Yeah.
Imagine that. The big 5-0. the big 5-0 and the wedding all in 1 year. That'd be amazing.
That would be lovely.
And you know what? And I'm not just saying this. There's no joke behind this. You got a lot of love to give. There's a couple of friends I've got that you would also get on well with. You not met my uni mates, and they're like you in the way that they're single. They're in their mid to late 40s. It just, for whatever reason, it just didn't happen, right?
Yeah.
And I tell you, this is not me being that typical idiot. They're gonna go, no, you should get married. You should say, I don't care about that. What I see in you, like I see in them, is a guy that's got a lot of love to give.
Yeah.
And I think if you've got that, then man, it's a waste. It's a shame that someone doesn't get that, because you hear about people in rubbish relationships. I'm like, oh man, because if you with Sahi, if I was with you, Sahi, I'd wake up with a smile every day. If we were lovers, man, I'd be like, hey, you know, whatever. Hey, how's your because you're a difficult person to live with as well, though, because you're a particular man, Sahi. I will say that you're typical in that way. You're a Pakistani man, like, you know, you like things a certain way. A Desi Banda, they're gonna know there's a way to do things. Are you easy enough on that as well? Are you easier to live with nowadays?
I am. I'm improving on that. That's a constant work. That's a constant work where I'm trying to, you know, I think, and it goes back to the yoga and the walk, letting things go.
Yeah.
Letting things go. And that, to be honest, is my next not big thing, but that's something that I'm constantly working on. Let things go. It's no big deal. I say to myself, it's no big deal. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
And I've got so much better in that. And I think that brings you another form of peace and happiness as well. Let it go. Let it go.
All right. Okay. And I'm going to have to let you go soon. But there's a few things that I wanted to kind of talk about before you went. Is just tell me about the Ronaldo thing. Because when Ronaldo came back to Man U, all I thought of was you. And that's when I thought, oh, actually, I've got to get Sahi on. I've got to get Sahi on the podcast. I want to talk about that. I know how much of a big deal it is. I'm not into football as much as you guys or a lot of people around me. I enjoy it. I want to see big games. But is it me, Sahi, or has he been a bit dirty since he's come back?
No, you know what? He hasn't.
What? What's going on there?
Yeah, he's done what Cristiano Ronaldo does now. He scores goals.
Right.
So he's scored 6 goals in 9 games for Manchester United, and a couple of them have been last minute. I wouldn't say last minute. Villarreal in the Champions League was last minute. Atalanta last Wednesday evening wasn't last minute, but it was the winning goal. It was in the 80+ minute mark. So he scored goals, and that's what forget about Cristiano Ronaldo the last 5-10 years. This is today. He's 36 years of age. He plays as a centre forward. He'll score you goals, and he will score Manchester United 25-30 goals a season. But what's happened is that Manchester United now have to change their style of play. And at the moment, they're finding it difficult to change their style of play for Cristiano Ronaldo, because pre-Cristiano Ronaldo, they were a counter-attacking team. So they'd defend deep, they'd allow the other team to have the ball, and they'd allow them to attack Manchester United. Manchester United win the ball back. This is very basic. And then they'd attack the other team. But with Cristiano Ronaldo, he doesn't really work from the front. He'll allow the other team to have the ball and bypass him. So Manchester United have almost playing with a man less. But when they have the ball, they're a lot more dangerous. So Manchester United have to tweak the way they're playing, but he is still a brilliant footballer, and he will guarantee you goals. But Manchester United as a team have to find how to best simulate him inside their 11, and also how to work off the ball without him doing any work, because he's not going to go sprinting around chasing for the ball when he hasn't got the ball.
How's he still doing it at 36?
He's got motivation. He talks about that a lot. They had Sky Sports had an interview with him prior to the game against Liverpool, which they released on their YouTube channel. And he kept on going back to one word. I watched it. It's 15 minutes. It's a good watch. And he used the word motivation about 8 times. He said, I'm still motivated. The interviewer kept on asking him, but you've done this, you've won that, you're 36. And he goes, I'm still motivated. I'm still hungry. I'm still motivated. And so I think that's what drives him. And you know what? And you know what, Tommy? Something we've been talking about, health and well-being. I think he's very focused on himself, on his life. I think outside of his work, his football work, I don't think he does anything else. I think he goes home and he relaxes, he recuperates, ready for the next game. You don't never hear him out at celebrity bashes or, poolside parties and that. He's all about his work. So his life, his work, he's made it into one big entity. And so for him, people might say he's 36 and he's playing in a physical sport. I think you will see Cristiano Ronaldo play this game until he's 40, 41.
Right. That's okay. Then I'm going to flip it slightly and go, that's obsession. If you're doing that, if you're going football and home and you don't really want or look for anything else, because I know he does, I saw in the documentary, he does a school drop, which I always thought must be so weird, driving, Ronaldo dropping his kid off to your school. If I saw him in the playground, it would be, but then that's where you realize he's a dad, he's a dad as well. Like I say, his family, and Portuguese, as we know, very much family orientated. They love kids, they love families. But to do that and nothing else, that's not far off of being obsessed, isn't it?
Yeah, and he probably, but I think you'll agree on this. He's number one or two. Me personally, I think Messi for me is the greatest footballer. Above Cristiano Ronaldo. That's just my own personal opinion. But let's say he's number two. To be that, I think you have to be obsessed. I think there's no other way for it. You have to be obsessed. If you want to be the top two musicians ever in the world, you have to be obsessed. You're competing with the likes of Michael Jackson, God rest his soul, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, John Lennon, another one, George Michael, who's my all-time favorite.
Great. What favorite song
Careless
right now?
Whisper. You can't beat it, Careless Whisper.
Even before I finish the question.
Yeah, I knew what was good. What's your favorite track? Careless Whisper.
Last Christmas I always think was a good one. Father Figure. So George Michael or Wham?
George Michael.
Right. So
I like When You're Before You Go. I did like that for Wham. I did like it. And I like Andrew Ridgeley. He was a cool dude.
Yeah, he went into sports car racing, didn't he?
He did. And he was a real cool guy. And I like Pepsi and Shirley, who were with him as well.
Yeah, the backing ones.
Yeah, Shirley. Yeah. I thought you was a bit younger than me. I know you're a bit younger than me, but
no, but I remember them. I remember them from Top of the Pops because they'd come on in the background.
Yeah,
and obviously my sisters would always have Wham on Wham posters and all that stuff. Oh, sorry, listen, I could talk to you all day long, and I love you so much. And
Thank you.
Do me a favor, just keep coming back every kind of whenever we can make it happen, and let's just do this, and let's have our catch ups like this, because I want everyone to. This is how we are, because I don't know too much about sport, and I like hearing it from you, because I also think you're balanced, being a BBC broadcaster as well, but also you're balanced because you'll go, thing is with that is this, and thing with that is that, and I just like hearing that little spin on things, because I'm out in adding a bit of sport. I'm doing T20 World Cup coverage, But,
so tell me, how long are you out there? You were there for the whole tournament?
Oh, 3 weeks, man. 3 more weeks. We've done a week, so we've done the first India, because obviously from the India fan angle.
Yeah.
But my role, as you know, I like people, I like energy, so I'm there to capture the fans, and it's doing that for the Bharat Army, doing that, and doing it in fun situations. Tomorrow, because we're in association with MPL, the shirts, the people who make the shirts for India. Yeah. So we're off to the desert, to go and do some stuff on some camels with the shirts, just for fun. I'm like, great, that's me. I can just make some fun stuff with the shirts on.
And are you there for the whole, up until the final? So even if India get knocked out, you're still there?
Yeah, well, I am, because also on Friday the 12th of November, which is that final weekend, I'm hosting a big Punjabi concert out here at the Coca-Cola Arena, which you should come to. If you want to come out, bruv, I will budge over in that bed. You can come stay with me, and we'll watch. It's Gary Sandhu, Ami Virk, a load of these Punjabi singers, Sonam Bajwa, Mannat Noor. So there's just a big old, Bhangra fest going down. Yeah. If there's any way you want to just hop on a flight, I know you like to travel. You probably got the air miles from all those Panama visits. Yeah. Cash them in, and come out here. But yes, I'm here. I'm here for the whole duration. So I might have to tap you up for some more cricket knowledge if I need it. Is that right?
I think just to finish on that, I think it's going to be I think it's just bubbling up. It's going to be a great tournament. I do love the T20. I do love the 2020. I love it. I think it's a fantastic. I think I'm an old school test match man, but I do love the T20 cricket. It's just brilliant.
Tell me about the likelihood, because everyone's talking about it. Final thing, India, Pakistan in the final again. Can that happen?
Yeah, of course it can happen. Yeah. But I've got a feeling England or New Zealand will have a say on that.
Okay. All right. There you go. That's the prediction from my man. I hope everyone has enjoyed the chat as much as I have, because I got to say, I don't, you don't, with lockdown and everything else, you don't get to talk to your friends as much as you want to do, and I don't like to do things over the phone, but this is nice. At least I get to see you. And I adore you. So I'm so glad you're happy. I'm so glad you feel more content. And I can't wait till I see you in the flesh. But we will do this again very soon. All right, bro?
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Sohail Sahi.
Thank you, Tommy.
Love
Thank
you, man. I need you to do one thing for me, and that is to subscribe to the podcast. It's free. Okay, this doesn't cost you any money. You know that. You can listen to this for free, whether you are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, if you're on JioSaavn, or any other streaming platform, Deezer, Castbox, TuneIn Radio, we're everywhere. If you're listening to this right now, hit subscribe. Subscribers really make a big difference to podcasters like me because it tells us who our family of podcast listeners are, where you are in the world, the kind of shows that you're listening to and the things that you like. So it really makes a big difference. If you like this, please hit subscribe, and then we can keep a little tab on you and give you the good stuff that you deserve. So I really appreciate it. It means a lot to have your company. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button there and be a part of the Tommy Sandhu podcast. People, we're only just beginning. The good stuff is all coming your way daily, Monday to Friday. Go spread the word and be a part of what we do. Hit subscribe, follow us on social media, and do it right now. Thank you.